Josh, I'm not hearing a lot of wee. Wee! Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Arc Raiders. Today we're talking about all of the different map events of the game, including the new ones of the Electromagnetic Storm and the Hidden Bunker. How do they all work? Why should you do them? And advice for each of them. Let's get into it. We begin with the Electromagnetic Storm then, which essentially causes these RNG spawning lightning blasts, dealing nasty damage, especially if you're right under it. The AoE range of it is pretty nasty too. It can land on you, you can roll out the way and still be clipped by it, which is rough. Cleaning out most of a shield, half your health, that kind of damage. The effect on the map is like a night map. You've got no hatch extracts, reduced normal extracts. It is somewhat a night raid with the extra danger. It does also have the tag of double trial points as a major condition, but right now it doesn't really seem certain whether this is increased loot spawns like it would be a night raid, but I certainly think it should be, because all it is a night raid with all the difficult aspects of a night raid with this feature on top. Interestingly, these can hit arc. And as we saw in, say, the server slam, this seems to cause a mini stun, like a Hornet Drive kind of mini stun. Definitely wouldn't rely on that, but maybe in a pinch could help you. Overall, it is just like an extra dangerous, interesting night raid. And I would prefer it if it was very clearly like high risk, higher reward, like even better odds than a normal night raid or something like that. But at this time, that information is not there in the game. Either way, it can happen across different maps, so be ready for that possibility. So, much more interesting than the storm is the Hidden Bunker. You'll only find it on Spaceport. So, it is one of the two unique events that can only happen on Spaceport. Pretty weird they've done that for this map. This means, as a special event, there are limited extracts, so even if you're in the daytime, hatches aren't an option. However, the raid time has changed. It's 40 minutes uniquely. And you can late spawn into the raid. The latest I've spawned is about 30 minutes on the dot. I'm unaware of what the latest spawn for this would be. First wave at 40 minutes, second wave around 30, and then that's it. That would make sense, but that's a hope more than a fact. To kick into it, there is a hidden bunker. It's right here on the map. Just above the fuel lines on the southwestern side, there is a bunker entrance in 3 locations. 2 that take you down to the mid-level, and 1 that takes you to the top level. However, none of these doors are open until you deal with the 4 antenna. On this event, you can open the map and see these special antenna icons on the rooftops of 4 locations. It does seem to move slightly, but generally there's like a north one, a west one, a south one, and an east one. The point is to go to each one of them, trigger a sort of console next to the antenna, which spawns arc in, just weak arc, deal with them, and then when it's finished, you can press the button to conclude that antenna. Which does mean you could finish this event and then not press the button, waiting until, say, late in the raid to do it, when most people have left. Either way, accessing the antenna is quite easy for 3 or 4 of them, but the 4th one will be at the northern trench pretty much every time, right? And to get to that roof, you're going to need either a zip line or the Spaceport Trench Tower key, which will let you in the building, and then you can access the rooftops that way. You'll get a warning at the top middle of the screen when one of these is cleared by someone else, and the antenna on the map will disappear, so you know when it's done. When all 4 are done, it also tells you the bunker is open, so head there when you're ready. In terms of the antenna event, it is quite low value for incredible risk, especially if you're playing in groups. It's basically a PvP monstrosity. The first time we did it, we had to go to the south antenna and fight off unironically 6 teams back to back. There came a point, even after looting bodies, where we were just out of resources. It is a bloodbath. Meanwhile, in solo, it's a completely different experience as everyone just wants to see it and are more willing to work together in solo anyway. Of course, you'll still have some bad apples. So if you want to see inside the bunker and experience it, I recommend you do this solo and play friendly with people. Doing it as a group requires heavy investment and strategy. So again, in that context, maybe clear the antenna and then hold one, the last one, preventing anyone from using it until quite late in the raid when you can pop it, go to the bunker, and hopefully have to fight less people. But now, the bunker. The bunker itself is defended by bombardiers and bastions rotating around the actual hill itself, as well as a lot of small arc flying in the air and small arc inside. Inside are 3 levels, so that's the top level, the middle level, and the lower level. The lower level is just this water sort of pipe room. There's not a lot going on here. The top level is the console room, where, interestingly, there's this big orb in the middle, which if you ping it, it gives a sort of quest marker, but there's no quest tied to this in the game currently, as far as we know. In the middle level, you've got a hexagon sort of shape to go through, with an exit on the north and south side it would appear. In here are locker rooms, server rooms, a medical room, and sort of maintenance shafts leading around it. On the top level and the middle level, you're going to find terminals, computers that you can use to download data. You can see on the screen when you begin doing this, a green bar slowly filling up. When it's finished, you can then download the data, and that gives you 500 Explore XP. There are 8 terminals located inside the bunker, and so the goal is to go to each of them, download the data, and get all the XP. Be warned that if you step away from the machine when you're downloading, it stops the progress, so you have to stay near it, which leaves you vulnerable. When one finishes, it turns green for a little while, a couple minutes, then deactivates. Right now, common theory is that you want to activate all 8 at the same time. But in my various attempts so far, we've not been able to get the randoms to do it at the same time. Someone always activates the terminal without thinking. Meanwhile, in teams, we cannot group up with anyone, everyone shoots on sight. So right now, we're looking at Reddit, we're looking at socials, hoping that someone achieves this. It might do nothing. Whatever it might lead to might not be in the game yet. But I will say this, I managed to activate 7 of the 8 terminals in my run, giving me 3,500 XP. I should have had 4,000 if I'd done all of them. Gathering all 8 might lead to something, but with the people I've done it with, they've claimed they had all 8 and they couldn't do anything either. So it's a bit confusing. In terms of loot down here then, it's decent. Lots of raider style weapon crates, grenade cases, ammo boxes, medical bags, many searchables for valuables, and reasonable high tech. So it's a worthy place to loot, but the risk and effort involved is kind of insane. Here's a fun fact, the walls also aren't reliable in there. My friend walked into a wall and fell through the map, falling until he eventually reappeared in the middle of a fight. Once we dealt with that fight, 2 of my teammates then did this accidentally seconds later, so it definitely wasn't a one-off. Be wary of the walls in there. Hope they fix this soon. Overall, a very interesting, complicated and challenging event, and one that maybe will lead to something interesting that's not quite there right now. Maybe the way we unlock the Celemontis map. But as of right now, everything I've tried has not worked, and so far looking at socials all day, no one has seemed to progress it past this point. So very perplexing. Thankfully, there's other events that we can actually finish. Let's look at those. But now we've covered the new stuff, let's talk about the familiar stuff, starting with my favorite event that's got a lot going on, a lot to consider, and easily incredible for PvP. It's the Launch Tower Loot event, which is only available sometimes for Spaceport. The idea is you're going to go up to the top here, where there's not 1 but 2 control rooms with incredible loot, then 2 special containers up top that have, every single time for us, blue weapons at high upgrade level. So let's explain it. To access the top of the tower, you need to repower the generator on the ground level of the tower, revealing the zip lines that are going to take you to the top. You do this by placing a special fuel cell into the powered down generator. It's like a heavy battery that will need to be lugged to the generator. These are found next to the many tunnel entrances with a ladder on the side of them, or by the sphere shapes on the ground around here. I've marked all of these potential spawns for you, but you can literally see them on the map. So grab the cell and lug it to the ground level of the towers, heading into one of the doors, finding a generator on whichever side you've gone in. When the cell is in, don't forget to actually pull the generator lever so you turn it on, at which point you'll have the zip lines exposed and you can use them to get to the top. An important note is that there are 2 sides here, the sort of northern and southern side of the towers. So there's a generator on the north side, there's a generator on the south side, and you're going to open up the zipline doors on either side when you unlock that generator. But the side you didn't power is still closed. So whatever way you go up is the exposed and open side, and one you should prepare for other players to come from in the future. Of course, other players could go get a different battery and power the other side, but in my experience, they usually go the open way. With that in mind, it is a fantastic idea to set up barricades like our friend Austin did here, preventing them from easily walking in, forcing them into a tight spot for our grenades, and overall response to get rid of these invaders. Once you're up here, you've got a sort of control room full of incredible potential loot. Weapon crates, ammo, medical, grenades, high-tech loot, drawers and other searchables, lockers. It is a fantastic room. And don't forget, when you go up top, you can jump over to the other side, and there's another room just like this one that should still be locked in most cases. However, as you come up top, you're going to see 2 locked weapon containers. You can channel a button at these to summon in waves of arc, wasps and hornets, as well as pops, which can be pretty deadly. Very manageable if you've also dealt with the Rocketeer that can be up here as well. These special weapon containers are worth unlocking though, because in one I got a Torrent level 3, and in the other, Josh got a Renegade level 3. That's incredible. Anyway, it doesn't always go as smooth as what we just looked at there. If you get a late spawn and you're traveling over, people can easily hold it and shoot down at you as you cross in the open area looking for cells. So if you get a close spawn, rush it. If not, take it slow and be smart. Anyway, this is my favorite event to do. and I strongly recommend you do it whenever it is available, but you'll need to be geared up for some intense PvP and potential Ark combat. Moving on then, let's now cover the Harvester. The Harvester is a special building with special loot within it, but is of course defended by the Queen. Well, from the Harvester you can get legendary weapon blueprints, the Equalizer and Jupiter, but when you kill the Queen or break off a part of her, you have the potential for Queen reactors and of course magnetic accelerators. The reactors sell for 13k a piece or recycle into those accelerators and a power rod, where the magnetic accelerators sell for 5.5 each or recycle into arc motion cores and advanced mechanical components. And if you have Gunsmith level 3 and the blueprints, this is going to be the materials you need to actually craft the Equalizer and Jupiter. Here's a very quick guide on the very simple Harvester event. Whatever map it's on, it's going to be the same Harvester that you go into. In the center is a pillar that's got this special loot inside of it that we're trying to unlock. But you got to be careful of that pillar because it will turn yellow or blue. When it's yellow, that means fire, so you want to run out when the doors are open. They'll open before even the yellow is shown, giving you time to react and get out. Meanwhile, the blue shock will cause a sort of EMP effect, which will clean out your shield. So unequip the shield while you're in there. Your goal is to find the 3 canisters. One spawns on the ground already, but you got to find 2 more by going up to the top level and fast breaching every location. Don't actually spend any time searching, you can do that after. But as you breach, you might reveal a canister within, drop that down to the center, and once you've got all 3 ready, stand in front of the main pillar, breach open the slot, and put all 3 canisters in at the same time if you're in a group. But the moment the 3rd one goes in, that's when the yellow buttons on the walls appear. Destroy all of these with your guns or melee. There's a layer of them on the ground level and the upper level. And when all of those are destroyed, the event is complete. 3 special containers reveal themselves in the middle, which is where you'll find those blueprints. This also sets you up for the Queen fight, so let's talk about that. Now of course we have a whole guide on this, but to keep it very simple for this, clear the Harvester and turn that into your functional base to fight the Queen from, working on any map. Then use your Queen killing weapons to take her down. Most likely this will be hull crackers, which you can buy for 30k once a day, shooting the Queen's face by stepping out from one of the 3 exits or using one of the rooftop windows to peek her, moving to a different spot to peek her whenever you draw attention. This focus fire into the face should result in about 150 launcher shots to kill her, or less when aimed well. If solo, I'll bring 200 shots as a minimum, and if trio, I'd bring like 80 each as a safe buffer. If you want an in-depth detailed guide on this though, check out the full video on the channel right now. Next up we have prospecting probes. Simply increase the amount of probes on the map. Why do this? Well, they result in a fantastic pile of arc parts, leading to crafts or simply lots of metal parts to work with, but the probes are an ideal source for arc circuitry, which you'll need 10 of for the refiner upgrade, or longer term crafting for these medium shields, requiring 1 circuitry per craft, or 1 circuitry per repair. You can also craft these via alloy in the refiner. Here's what the probes look like, and here's what they sound like. To find them, you need to listen or look around. Obviously listening we just looked at, but vision wise you can climb up onto a building and look around and maybe spot them. And they're also very obvious when they're landing. They come down like a meteor landing, so just head in the direction of one that you see. During the event that happens a lot, there'll be a lot around. So by combing the area and eventually hearing them moving towards them, you'll be fine. But be prepared for the probe farm. When you start breaching a probe, it makes alarmed sounds. This can draw nearby arc and also draw player attention if that's what happens. Sometimes the probe will even call in arc like a snitch call. So you got to be ready to deal with wasps and hornets for this run. The best advice here is to look at the probe, where it is, what's around it, and consider if it's worth it, or maybe move on to another probe. If it looks okay, clear the arc directly around it and go for it. Just be aware that they don't stay forever though, they leave eventually. You can see how their light on the top changes from blue to yellow and so on before it leaves. Next we have the Husk Graveyard. Why would you do this? Well, by gathering these husks, you're going to get arc parts aplenty. Great for crafting purposes or selling for money. But when it comes to the Rocketeer and Baron husks, separate from the Wasp ones, you can get their drivers, which can be really valuable. With the Rocketeer ones, you got broken Rocketeer drivers that sell for 2k each, or the full-on proper ones as if you killed a proper Rocketeer for 5k each, or they're really good resale value. I have also seen claims that the Baron husks have a chance for the Queen reactors too, but I've never seen that personally. As a warning, while the event can spawn on Buried City, I wouldn't really go for it on that one. It's just awkward because they spawn on rooftops and between the buildings, where you're kind of uniquely exposed on this map during this event. For the damn battlegrounds, you're going to find most of them on the top side near the old battleground, hence the name, and you'll find a Baron Husk over here. You can also find a Baron Husk right here on the map near the water treatment control, and one over by the breach right there. These provide a lot of points if you're doing the trial, but obviously when you get on top of it, you have to open it and get off the top before it burns you, waiting for it to finish being on fire before you can actually loot it, which will leave you exposed. You can also find husks in the Red Lake area, along the edges here at the bottom of the dam, or on the islands themselves. On Spaceport, I like to do a ring around the outside rather than going inside of the whole compound, especially near the fuel lines, and this line here, between here, is a fantastic location for Arc Husks. There are also Baron Husks here, like one right there, and one right there, pretty close to one another. You can also find a massive amount on Blue Gate, especially in the adorned wreckage area, all along this side here. It's like, you know, meant to be for that. There's also a Baron Husk within that, but you can find plenty around these areas as well. So do a U-shape along the bottom side of the map to farm these on Blue Gate. Next up we have Lush Blooms. The idea here is that you'll find increased nature spawns, the fruit that you need for Scrappy to turn into seeds or sell for fantastic value. But the big deal here is the fruit basket spawns, and they're insane value. By opening these, I get a pile of random fruit in comical amounts. This is how I got to level 5 Scrappy without really any effort, so my god is this good. My advice for this one is this website, Metaforge, for Arc Raiders. We're not affiliated or sponsored in any way, it's just the resource that I found to be the most reliable for interactive maps in general. And by filtering for just baskets, I can set up a run for myself. You can see by doing a U-shape around the map, you can hit a lot of them. So I'll just check this, mark it in-game, go see if I can find a fruit basket if it's spawned, loot that, or not find one and move to the next spot. So check out the website for this purpose. Next up we have the Uncovered Caches, a fantastic event that contains all of these raider caches in the ground for raider spawn loot. So it could be anything from explosives, grey, green, blue even potential, blueprint potential, guns, materials and otherwise. So I think the loot potential of these is fantastic and well worth it. I like running them for free solid loadouts to run myself. And compared to lots of other events, they're rarely contested. To find them, you'll need to hear a whirring and clicking sound, then use the direction that you're hearing it from to find it in the ground. They're also often marked in the ground. For running this on Buried City, I also like to do a U-shape around the map, but sticking towards the edge of the building specifically, because that's where I seem to find them on the ground. I consider the hotspot of the map up here by the Library Hospital and space travel, and the southern side's a lot calmer, so it's a great route to run for this purpose. For the damn battlegrounds, by comparison, I love the southern side specifically. There feels like there's a massive amount of spawns around the water towers, electrical substation, and down here to the south where there aren't actually points of interest. Coming through the scrapyard, there's a pile of them through the center of this. You can also find them on the islands here by the Red Lakes. Over here at the bottom of the breach, there's quite a few spawns. Walking along the edge of the map, going past the Raider Outpost through to Patton House. You can also find them by the houses here, and generally around the swamp as well. So a big circle around the outside of the map will do wonders. For the spaceport, it's very simple. Once again, we go on the outside of the map, running the outer areas, going past the points of interest. All around them is the potential for these raider caches along this outer wall, avoiding the center completely. Lastly, for Blue Gate, same concept as before, avoid the center, go around the outside, the outskirts, the points of interest named, avoiding the center and finding many of them along the way. But yeah, those are all currently the map modifiers and events of the game, other than like night raids. I hope this guide to all of them was useful to you, and if you have any extra advice about any of them, let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, do drop a like, but until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.